Public Speaking Take 8. Now this video blog has taken me 8 tries so far to get it done right. And I think a lot of it is because I just get a mind blank when I'm standing in front of the camera trying to talk. And it's kind of funny because this video blog is just about public speaking. Have you ever had a problem with public speaking? Have you ever really gotten that anxiousness and anxiety inside, knowing that you're going to have to stand in front of a crowd of people? Or maybe it's sitting in class, and you really have a burning question to ask the teacher, but you don't want to ask it because you don't want to look stupid in front of your friends. I know that I struggle with that all the time. But the question is, why? Why? Why do we have such a problem with public speaking? I know it's something that a lot of people have to deal with. But why? One of the things that I've been learning is that it all boils down to sin. Now I know that by standing in front of this camera, you're not able to see deep into my soul and see all of my internal sin, or all of the things that I do when I'm not on camera or when I'm not around people. I know that. But the reason that we have such problems boils down to the entrance of sin into the world. And I think there's two main culprits. And both are the result of sin. The first one is that we get our value from what we do. After Adam and Eve sinned, God told Adam that he was going to have to work the ground, and that the ground was going to struggle against him and not produce the fruit that he wanted. Adam was going to get his value from his work, and it wasn't going to be enough for him. The second part comes in the curse to Eve. When God talked to Eve after she sinned, she said that her value was going to come from the man, and he was going to lord it over her. So we also get our value from our relationships, from what other people think about us. On the one hand, we get our value from what we do, how much we achieve. On the other hand, we get our value from what other people think about us. And in public speaking, both of those things come together to make us feel really small, insignificant, like we have little worth. But that's the beauty of the gospel. The beauty of the gospel is that despite our insignificant feelings, despite what other people think about us, God still loves us. And that we don't have to listen to those voices that tell us that our value comes from what we do, or our value comes from what other people think about us. Because God has redeemed those things. God, through Jesus, has shown his love to us, despite our failures, despite the bad things that people think about us. That's the beauty of the gospel, that our value doesn't really come from those things. So one thing that we can be reminded of before we have public speaking events, before we can go through all of that nervousness and anxiety, is we can remember that we don't have to take our value from what we do. We don't have to take our value from what other people think about us. But we can remember that we are valued by God. We are so highly valued that he sent his son Jesus to die on the cross for us, to bring us into relationship with him, to be the example of love that he shared about. He said there was no greater love than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. And he loved us in that way. So we can know that we are that valuable to Jesus. So we don't have to take our value from what we do and our failures. We don't have to take our value from what other people think about us. But we can take our value from God, and knowing that we are that valuable, that he'd send his son for us.